Do you feel comfortable talking about money with your honey? If you are like most Americans, the answer is no. According to a 2009 report in the sociological journal Family Relations, marital conflicts over money were more pervasive, problematic, and recurrent than all other non-money issues. Today, we're joined by Manisha Thakor, co-author of the newly released book, Get Financially Naked. She's here with 3 steps we can take to improve the love-money situation with our significant others. Hi there, Manisha. Great to see you again.
Great to see you, Tanya.
So, money. It is frequently cited as a top cause for fights in marriages and divorce. Why is this?
Well, interestingly, it's because in the case of love, studies show opposites really do attract. Researchers at the University of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Northwestern have found that we find as humans something intoxicating about that financial otherness. So a very frugal person can be actually literally turned on by someone with free spending ways, and vice versa. Somebody who goes through money like toilet paper, for instance, might find it very comforting to be around someone who sticks strictly to a budget. The problem is that eventually that attraction wears off.
That first blush of love does eventually change into something a little different, and that's when perhaps these differences are suddenly not so romantic anymore. So what is the second reason couples fight about money?
So the second reason is opposites attract, then the attraction starts to fade off, and we don't have a language to talk about the void that comes up after that. In other words, money has become literally the pink elephant in the bedroom. And when you think about it, you meet that someone special and your friends will ask, are you physically compatible? Are you emotionally compatible? Spiritually, intellectually compatible? But nobody asks you if you're financially compatible. We are not taught a language to assess that component of our relationship, and that's part of the reason why Sharon Kadar and I wrote Get Financially Naked.
It makes perfect sense, because obviously no one wants to have a relationship with 3 people, you and your significant other, and the pink elephant in the room. We want to get rid of the pink elephant. So you have some steps to getting financially naked. Let's go through them. The first step is understand you and your partner's financial history or money history. How do you even begin to approach the subject? It's so taboo to talk about your accounts and how much money you have and the rest of it.
It really is, and so this concept of money histories and understanding them is a way to ease into it. And a lot of people say to me, Manisha, that's a bunch of hokey pokey. I don't have a money history or a relationship with money. But money is funny in that, you know, if you slept in the last 24 hours or brushed your teeth or blew your nose in a Kleenex, money played a role in you being able to do all of those things. And you add up the sum total of those experiences and it creates your money history. And so let me give you an example. I am so incredibly financially conservative. The mere thought of living beyond my means is enough to make me dry heave or break out into hives. And if my husband didn't understand the things in my past that led me to react that way, he might think, my God, I've married Mrs. Scrooge. And instead he can think, okay, this is Manisha's money history kicking in with her frugality. So it's a series of questions that helps you get to know each other and your triggers a little better.
So when you're trying to understand each other's money history, are you saying just have an idea of what kind of debt this person has, or it goes far beyond that?
Actually, it's the step before that. So the money history is the soft, squishy stuff. And if you go to the book's website, getfinanciallynaked.com, you can download a sheet. It's a series of questions that you ask. What are your earliest memories about money? What positive associations do you have with money? What things about money scare you? So it's the squishy things that you want to get to before you jump in the numbers.
And then you do have to eventually get there, though. You do have to eventually talk numbers, don't you?
You do. That's step number 3, but we ease into it with the money history.
All right, so the second step is to be clear on your level of financial compatibility. Explain this one for us. Is this where you sort of figure out I'm more conservative and you're more of a freewheeling spender, and therefore we need to meet somewhere in the middle?
Almost. So this is a concept that was created by my co-author, and I think it's brilliant. It's a quiz that we have, and again, you can get it at getfinanciallynaked.com, that enables you to assess yourself and your partner on 3 levels with regards to money: your knowledge, your interest and your behavior. And the idea is not for you two to try and force each other to become identical, but to understand where there may be gaps, so that you can make sure in your relationship that all three of those areas of money, knowledge, interest, and behavior, are being tended to and have ownership by one or the other of you.
Very, very good idea. Now, the third step to getting financially naked, this is really where you lay it all out. You set up a joint game plan that you review annually. So I'm assuming you mean you also set a yearly financial goal for yourselves as a couple.
Right, and so there are two components to this. The first is just a basic balance sheet and income statement for your household. And what I mean in plain English is laying out each year what your household owns, what your household owes, and the difference between that is your net worth. Ideally, each year your net worth would grow. If your net worth is not growing, that's a signal that you want to discuss what's going on. The next piece is that income statement. It's how much money is coming into your household, how much money is going out. The difference, of course, is what you have left over for savings. If you don't have at least 15% for savings, again, another red flag that you want to sit down and talk about it. And then the third piece is making sure that you and your partner on the 5 big elements of your spending, your home, your car, your kids, your education, your retirement, that you talk about it and you've got a game plan, because if you get those 5 things right, your balance sheet and your income statement for your household are going to look a lot stronger.
And your relationship is going to be a lot stronger. Now, Manisha, I just want to ask you, do you believe that couples should have separate accounts, or is a joint account really the way to go for married couples? What's your thought?
So this is such a loaded question, Tanya. I'll give you my personal belief. I personally believe in the financial three-way. I think couples should have some separate money and some joint money. I think each human being has an innate need and desire to be able to express themselves. Money is a part of that, and so that's why I believe in having some separate accounts, but I think a joint account for shared household expenses can also make a lot of sense.
ABC News Now. Good to know.